This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Comics Illustrator Ron Friends, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
That's right. There's no child labor laws when it comes to podcasting. That's why I have Lilith Hellfire here.
You might want to check on that, Philip.
Oh, please, 5 seconds of work.
It's
anyway.
not labor, he's not paying him.
Exactly.
That's even worse.
Oh,
You're
please.
going to jail, Philip.
Oh, please. My son gets paid in toys and in love.
Don't worry, Luca. I'll come save you. I'll get you a good contract.
Since when are we working on contract? Anyway, Master Doom is watching. Capes and Lunatics, episode 132. Starts right now. Coming to you live on a early Saturday morning, because Lilith Hellfire demanded it. It's the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. As I said, cracking the whip from Florida is...
Hey, y'all, it's Lilith Hellfire.
And the dapper man from New Jersey.
It's Charlie, the Professor Esra.
Look at that haircut.
That's correct.
Look at my fancy boy.
Go next to the small boy behind the large man.
Oh, my little fancy boy. All right, let's get going. Let's jump right in. Let's get going to start it at fourth gear.
Oh my God, Philip, I'm going to kill you.
Ew.
Gobble, gobble.
Anyway. So, did you see who they've cast yet another person for the Batman movie?
Yeah, and I'm just like, you're better suited for Adam Sandler movies at this point in your career, but cool, I guess.
John Turturro is playing Carmine Falcone.
And the fetuses don't even know him from the cleaner, so I'm just like, I have no time for you. If you don't mention his name with the cleaner, don't talk to me. We're not friends.
So, does this lend credence to that, them doing Batman The Long Halloween?
I really feel like, yep, that's what we're doing.
Because the Falcones were big in that, so.
Well, the Falcons have been big in a
Let's
lot
go
of...
back to that pulpy, slightly campy kind of Batman, not too serious, I am Batman kind of thing, I think. Which I think could work, but...
Okay. I'm glad you
I mean, I love John Turturro before he started making Adam Sandler.
What? Not happy about that, Charlie Esser?
Well, I mean, look, right now, it's the Joker's universe. You know, they're really in that glow. And I think going to anything too campy is the wrong... I
thought the Joker movie was campy. What do you mean?
Oh, that's a Saturday morning for Lilith Hellfire.
I am smart and pretentious. Like, come on. Like, stop.
My knockers are fully frosted. Yeah, there you go. I guess if you see it that way, I think they want that. I mean, and I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing. And honestly, it's DC.
Neither
they
do
could
they,
change
Charlie.
their mind 4 more times before they release the Snyder Cut,
That
it's
is a
be what it's gonna
conspiracy theory for HBO Max to do well.
I was going to say, is that like a nerd? Is that like a nerd conspiracy theory now? The Snyder Cut?
No, I'm telling you what, they're doing this, and HBO Max is going to be like, we're going to release the Snyder Cut. Get HBO Max, and then it's just like Zack Snyder's freaking commentary over it. Everybody's in on it.
Yeah.
That's my theory, and I think I'm pretty right about that. It's a whole different movie.
Look how cool! Look how cool this is! Look how we brought Superman back from the dead.
You did that haphazardly. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's talk about something else. I'm glad for John Turturro to get work outside of an Adam Sandler movie. Maybe he can go back to making these, like, cult classic freaking gangster movies after this, I'll be down for that. So good for him. I'm happy. It's an odd choice, but I'm happy for the actor.
Oh, but speaking of HBO Max, they also announced this week Stargirl is coming to DC Universe.
To the CW.
But then the CW gets to air the episodes a day later.
Okay, but that's kind of like that show on FX that you can watch on Hulu the next day, I guess. It's kind of like one of those things. I don't know what's going on in the TV landscape anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, but we talked about this the other night. Are they trying to kill? Between HBO Max and everything, are they trying to kill DC Universe? Because it's like, why put it on a pay service? Then a day later, you're like, oh, you can watch it on CW, which Charlie can get on the rabbit ears.
Yeah, it's odd. And maybe is it summer? Is it going to be summer content though? Like, when is that show coming out?
I don't know.
Summer content. It actually kind of makes sense because they kind of do that with some of the Canadian shows in the summer now, I've noticed.
Eh?
So, yeah.
But
there's that one law show that Kristen Crook is in that they started airing in the summer after it played on, I think it was BBC, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah, I don't know. They haven't announced the date, but
it's just the summer show. It actually makes sense to me for more exposure.
Exposure's good, but yeah, are people going to ride? Because they're like, why am I paying for DC Universe if you're just going to dump content on the broadcast?
Well, you're paying to see it first. Like,
Oh, a whole day! A whole day! Oh!
Well, you're also paying for the on-demand.
Don't act like.
No commercials,
yeah. I mean,
it'll probably be a little censored, probably, too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but how grim and gritty are you going to get with Stargirl?
Oh, she's got issues.
Have you seen her outfit?
No, that's pretty tame, to be honest. Let's be honest.
For comics.
In the world of Wonder Woman rocking bikini Spanx and She-Hulk and things like that, that's a super tame outfit.
Well, they could always update it,
Maybe
but,
season 2, she gets the Star Spangled Bikini because they can't do Wonder Woman.
But I guess that would be your obvious thing. That's what they're going to give with DCU is it's going to be commercial free. It's the entire content, no commercial edits, because not only do they have edit so that you have room for the commercials, you also sometimes have things taken out so that they can add the commercials. So you'll have a little bonus content, so all these kind of things to sell the DCEU. But the DCEU is kind of in its odd spot. It's not a fully developed thing.
They shouldn't have put it out because they knew Warner Media app, aka HBO Max, was coming. It's dumb.
They wanted to be first, but
beat Disney to it, and it is what it is. You live and you learn, and then you get loved. This podcast is not sponsored by Love because I hate crotch goblins, but if they want to sponsor us, we won't turn down the money.
Yeah, well, I think the problem I don't think it's a problem. I think that DCU wants to be a certain niche product for DC content. And, I think that the book is their selling point.
Like all the memes say, we're not paying for 10 streaming services. They're going to have to work that out.
Yeah. I mean, really, I think DCU should probably turn into where their strengths lay. And I think this would be where you could start working out your digital code, and start having, if you have DCEU, now you get a digital code when you buy the book, scan a little QR code and now you've got this book as well in your library. Or even having, maybe just like, what was it, Marvel Unlimited, where you start having new books coming in on a regular basis.
They already do that, though.
3-4 months down the line?
Or sprinkle code, or start sprinkling codes in on DCU shows or HBO Max shows. Be like, hey, you like this show? Here's a free comic
book. Yeah, I mean, but DCEU is DC branded. That's the big difference between it and Disney Plus or even HBO Max. Is DCEU is comic book centric work about comic book inspired stuff, and whether or not and I guess what they're probably going to see it as is that's the place that all DC stuff will eventually wind up. So I'm sure after season 1 of the Watchmen is run through on HBO, it's going to show up at DCEU.
I don't think so. I think that's going to stay at HBO Max.
Yeah, because it is like an
Okay.
HBO production thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all owned by the same company now.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think it's gonna stay on HBO Max and not DC.
It'll probably be the easiest thing, like, when it's all said and done.
Yeah. But,
Because
you know, I mean,
this is how I see it. DC Universe stuff is Greg Berlanti stuff. Everything else, HBO Max. That's just the way that I see it. And I think that's how they're gonna do it.
yeah. Well, you know, I think, you know, one of their biggest... It's a question of whether or not people would like what Disney Plus is, where it's trying to be all things to all people, or if they do want more targeted content like you'll find on DCU or other platforms like Shudder or, you know, or Full Moon or any of the other sort of niche streaming services, you know? You can get stuff from Full Moon, from Troma, from wherever on some larger platforms, but if you're a diehard fan, you may want to just subscribe to Shudder or Full Moon or Troma and just have the broader catalog instead of having it stuff that cycles through. And I think that might be really DCU's big selling point is that they're gonna, once it goes on their service, it may stay there. Whereas HBO Max, things are going to cycle through, I imagine. You know, unless they are just going to keep it on there forever, and you know. And maybe for stuff that's HBO-centric, like Watchmen, it will. But I think a lot of other shows may cycle in and out. Maybe, if they follow the Netflix model.
I just think all things DC have like a weird business model anymore. Did anyone see the other announcement that, I don't know, I guess we're getting the Justice Society in some form in the Black Adam movie? I was like, shouldn't that be the other way around?
Well, it's The Rock. You have to think about it.
I know, it's The Rock. I know.
Everybody's going to go see it.
I know.
And so that'll make the money to actually do the spin out. So, you know, it is.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting, especially if it does build out, you know, and maybe, you know, maybe they don't want to go Justice League right now. But, you know, maybe they can say, no, this is a universe with the Justice Society. With Shazam and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. It makes more sense
because it is related to Shazam, actually. When you think about it, it makes more sense.
That's fine, but if you know the Justice Society are the first heroes, then do that movie first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, they probably, like I said, it's The Rock. They want to make the money to actually justify having that. So.
But you know, it's important to remember that you know the Shazam universe is a universe where superheroes are established. You know, they're established, they're marketed, they have, you know, fanzines, the whole 9 yards. So I wonder if they're actually going to set it in a pre-Shazam world, you know? So are they actually going to set it in like the 30s and 40s, as an example? You know, in which case, you know, that might be an interesting idea. You know, have The Rock break out beforehand and, you know, but there's not a Shazam champion there to help, so he has to sort of recruit. So maybe Shazam has to recruit these other special individuals.
I don't know. Just Black Adam
and
recruiting
then Shazam
everyone.
becomes the Nick Fury of the DC universe. He's going to gather them, but it's magic. I just want them to get Alan Scott in there.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you know, like the whole Green Lantern or the whole Flash movie thing. What, you know, why don't they scrap what they had planned and just start with a Jay Garrick movie?
Well,
no,
maybe they will. Maybe that's...
As much as I love it, I don't. It's something Lil Hellfire will love, but you know, Lil Hellfire is very niche, very different than the mainstream people. Mainstream's not ready for Jay Garrick.
I mean,
I'll just be honest.
I mean,
I know that.
Pull a Captain America: The First Avenger, do a World War II piece or two. You know, have the Justice Society young.
Stepping in Wonder Woman territory though, so it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Well, that was World War I. So you know, and since they,
Earth 2.
as an example, they have suggested that. You know, that in Wonder Woman 1980, we're going to find out that she actually did not go into hiding after World War I. You know, Batman just didn't know where to look, I guess. Not the best detective. You know? And so we may see that, she actually is a founding member of the Justice Society, you know?
Because it can't be Superman, obviously.
Yeah, well, you know. Unless maybe Jor-El comes by, you know. Because that's how we know where Earth
Smallville,
was.
buddy. This ain't Smallville. He was not vacationing in his teens on Earth.
Mr. Oz.
Yeah, I will never understand how a society could have interstellar flight, and yet A, he could only build a rocket ship for his kid, and B, no one else could leave. You know, it just seems like, okay, so you clearly have the ability to travel to Earth because you've been doing it. They need to rework that origin a bit. Like I said, that's why I always like my theory that the Green Lanterns just surrounded Krypton to make sure none of them left because Kryptonians were a danger for the rest of the universe.
Okay, Rogozar, calm down, man.
I'm telling you, man, they're a danger. Spend this. No, man, you can deny it all you want.
Ward, I've got Bendis. It's fine.
Yeah, spend this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not like, it's just too much now, and I'm over it. I'm back to reading books.
Oh,
there you
go.
go.
As soon as the Arrowverse dies, I don't have to watch TV ever. I can just throw the damn cable box right out the window.
But did everyone see the trailer? Next week's Titans season 2 finale. We're getting Nightwing finally for the first Deathstroke.
It looks good, actually. I was like shook. I was like, oh my god, that actually is like, okay. Something definitely Philip would love. But no offense to the actor, he doesn't have a Nightwing booty.
There was a weird couple episodes towards the end here where like Dick Grayson got himself thrown in prison. He hears this legend of this bird thing from some prisoners, and then he goes to, I guess, some shop where the superheroes get their suits, and they're like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne cooked something up for you. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. No.
Yeah.
This is the furthest thing for Bruce Wayne. No.
So,
you leave my Game of Thrones actor alone. Glenn Ian is fine.
Old man Wayne. No, I mean in any iteration. I mean, Dick's supposed to come up with Nightwing himself. No, it's not supposed to be, oh, here, Bruce hands it to you. No.
Yeah.
They had to give that distinguished actor something to do.
But he wasn't even in the scene. The person who's making the suit says, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne cooked something up for you. So the actor wasn't even in the scene.
Oh, dang. That's not good.
Yeah.
They're just stealing Dick's thunder. That's all. So they're not patting his booty then?
I don't know. Like I said, the only really shot of him in the suit came from the trailer for next week. So.
And it wasn't tastefully shot from the butt angle?
Oh no, we're gonna.
What is this? What is this? A Wonder Woman shot in Justice League?
You said
you
said Nightwing's for.
That's in the Snyder cut as well.
I'm
just saying, I can almost guarantee you.
You said Nightwing's for the female gaze, Lil. So
it is. Yeah. They know. Lean into that.
All right. So yeah,
exactly.
We're all
tastefully shot from.
We're all anticipating it next week. Yeah, stay tuned for Nightwing butt watch.
Butt watch 2019.
Look at my butt.
Look at my butt. Yeah.
We have a drop for everything at this point, and I love it.
Well, we've been doing this long enough. Oh, what else is going on out there?
I don't think we ever talked. I mean, the celebrity hate train continues to roll as Elizabeth Banks starts screaming at Marvel movies, for the failure of Charlie's Angels.
Bruh, sis needs to let it go. Take the L and move on. Every single article that I've seen, it's like, bro. But Charlie's Angel, look, you can make a Charlie's Angel reboot that works. Look at Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz's. Like, nobody cares about Kristen Stewart in a Charlie's Angels remake. Maybe think about that.
And she was the only one I knew out of those three.
Yeah, and then it was just odd. It was odd. And then they had like a female boss. I was like, dude, you at least could have invited what's his face back?
Oh, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have done that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that. Yeah, and
they
then
didn't even ask.
They had Patrick Stewart. Which, first off, how do you bury Patrick Stewart in your film? Like, I saw no Patrick Stewart in any of the trailers. I know, but it's like. It's Patrick freaking Stewart.
Wait, I missed this. Is Patrick Stewart was in this movie?
He's Bosley.
Is he? I didn't even know this. So yeah, your advertising sucks.
It's like he's retiring because he's like the old Bosley and he's retiring. And they show that Bosley is a title, and then they have, I guess, the new Bosley.
Well, then, your movie sucks.
I don't know. I don't know the plot yet, but I get the feeling that there might be like he's actually the evil Bosley or something like that. Or something like that might
make sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I've only heard rumors about what the plotline is. But
and then it's the marketing. Well, it's like, okay, that's okay. I heard about this movie enough, so it's not the marketing, because I don't even watch damn TV, and I skip all commercials, but somehow I managed to see the commercials for this. So it's definitely not the marketing. Hate to break it to you.
The marketing was all girl power, and they're fine, but it's like, I mean...
Well, and that's what Charlie's Angels is about, but also, like, let's be honest, that last one is, like, also you have to, like, have sex. It can't be just girl power without the sex appeal, because then you're just going to lose half an audience.
And again, you have the Patrick.
Angels, you know, they are angels because they are sexy ladies.
They're honey traps. Like,
come
on, they're honey traps. Like, let's be real.
But it's like
even the nerdy ones.
But I mean, Elizabeth Banks wants
the
those.
Nerdy ones are the best ones.
Elizabeth Banks wants those people who go to see Marvel movies. You know, why don't you publicize it better that Patrick Stewart's in your movie?
Not even that. Really. Just she didn't make a good movie. Don't blame it on anything else, but that you didn't make a good movie.
Well, I find that ironic too that she's like, "Oh, you people have had 37 Spider-Man movies." I'm like, "Weren't you in all the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies?" Elizabeth Banks, hello.
Was she?
She was Betty Brant.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, I'm sure you cashed all those checks, so don't be.
Well, you know,
that was also like a million years ago.
This was her.
Still
is this
happened.
her first directorial debut?
Yes, it is. It's her directorial debut.
You know,
pick a better project.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's maybe, you know, and I don't know. Does she really have does she have a background in action, or is her background mostly?
No, not at all. Not that I can tell.
It's like,
it
was an odd thing.
Like, I don't even know this lady. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
who is she?
Wasn't she in Bridesmaids?
No, that's not her. I don't think.
Well, there were a lot of women in Bridesmaids, so.
Yeah, but all those women I knew. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting choice.
Just take the L and move on, or you'll never work in that town again, especially as a woman. Like, I think she should have figured this out. Like, what it is.
Well, and also
do better next time.
Yeah, and there's just no reason to hate on some other some other project just because it did better than you know?
Again, yell at the marketing people, because it's like, you know, with the price of movie tickets ever going up, you know, people are going to be getting more and more discerning what they want to see.
Okay, this is weird. Okay, she's best known for that one lady in Hunger Games. Hunger Game fans, y'all let your girl down like that?
Exactly.
Well, you know, let's actually be honest here. It was a bad week for movies. I mean, Terminator flopped.
Oh, yeah.
Which really shocked me, you know, and really none of the franchises.
And that's actually a really good movie. That's what the fans wanted. It was literally 100% fan service.
Yeah, but you know what? Well, first off, you know, we're in the midst of an economic downturn. You know, if we're going to be honest, the numbers aren't out yet, but I know people are feeling it. I know I see it. You know?
We've been this way for a while, but okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think a lot more people have less disposable cash. I know I certainly do. And, you know, going to the movies, I think it was just bad.
You know, I hear the rich taste like pork, is all that I'm going to say. Let's just
I don't know. I'm not into cannibalism. I just want their stuff. I don't want to eat them, you know? Or I want equal distribution of wealth for all people so that I can waste my time doing podcasts, you know? I can pursue what I love.
It wasn't that week for movies. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a summertime movie anyway, too. So it definitely feels like the studio dumped this in the middle of the freaking movie, you know, desert, because it's like after October, but before December. So it's just like, and not even Thanksgiving weekend. Like, really? That's usually when a lot of people go see movies, because, you know, the kids are home and stuff.
That's what I was going to say.
It's just like the studio did not have faith in this movie. They might as well have dumped it in January, really, if that's the case, if you didn't care about the movie.
Well, exactly. And I think, and, you know, blaming other things doesn't help, you know. If she wanted to, you know.
Suck it up and take responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, take the L, walk it off.
Yeah.
And,
or you'll never work again, like, period.
And, you know, not for nothing, this is what I said about Terminator. You know, yes, Terminator had a bad opening, and it's a flop, but you know what? I guarantee you that film's going to come back. You know, I think as a franchise, it's going to get its following. When it gets out on streaming, it's going to really get... And that's the thing. As we're going into this more streaming universe now, people are like, I'll wait for the stream, you know? Because we know it's all coming to the stream eventually.
You can even stay home and rent it for like $6. You know what I mean? On top of that. So
yeah.
I think that should just be the model. Just let everybody just pay for it at home, bro. This going out among the unwashed masses is just, it's going out of fashion.
Yeah, and again
just
to the money issue. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know it's going to be coming to your house in some form pretty soon. So a lot of people are just like, I can wait.
What, 2 months for a movie to come to Blu-ray now? Remember when it used to be like 5 years or never?
Oh, streaming's even quick. It comes to streaming quicker than Blu-ray now. So
yeah.
Yeah, and who owns Charlie's Angels?
I know it's not a Warner Brothers production, is it?
I don't know. Let's see.
So, you know. So that's probably going to be out on Netflix then, because it's not one of the ones that are pre-spoken for.
Oh, yeah, it'll be somewhere pretty quick.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, I'm just saying it's like, I don't think it would be on Disney Plus or HBO Max, since it's not one of their in-house studio property. Yeah. But anyway, so that's Elizabeth thing. And again, you did not see the people who were doing Terminator complaining, you know
it's Columbia Pictures. This is a Sony movie. No wonder.
Oh.
I should have known.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, for what it's worth, you know, Sony needs something, and that's the thing is.
So that'll be our tackle in about a week or two.
I don't know what Sony's
if you don't
doing,
know, cancel this Sony streaming service, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's weird because you would think Sony would have wanted to make franchises more, you know, since they don't have. I mean, well, they have Spider-Man, but they're also like they want their own properties, and that was like a perfect property that they would want to build out and grow.
They got the Venom.
Yeah, you know. The Venom.
Honestly, you know why I think Charlie's Angels didn't work? Because there's no big female action stars anymore. Like, all those girls, you're like, who? I don't know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's actually, at the end of the day, it's like...
Well, I mean...
We're not counting Zoe Saldana or...
Scarlett Johansson.
They're kind of long in the tooth for Hollywood.
Ooh!
That was very much directed at, like, really young girls.
She got a grip of sour grapes.
Well, I guess they were...
That's just the industry standard. Don't look at me for saying the truth.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
So I guess maybe they were trying to make these girls into action adventure stars, or these women into action adventure stars, and you know. But then it comes down to
you don't do that with Charlie's Angels, a very well known property.
No, Charlie's Angels has great potential for it. Honestly,
I know, but you can't like just start those girls that like the mainstream doesn't know, like outside of Kristen Stewart. And it's like Kristen Stewart, action star.
But people know what Charlie's Angels is. People know what Charlie's Angels is.
Yeah.
And it was based off of the idea that we're going, and
there's no boob jiggle. Okay, there I said it. There was no boob jiggle in the trailers. That's why it failed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I said
maybe people are more breasts now. I don't know. I don't know what the because that comes and goes. You know.
How dare you, sir?
Charlie's Angels. That is the classic boob jiggle.
I'm not disagreeing. You know.
Does 2019 even want Charlie's Angels anything? Like at this point, like let's think about that. The state of how the world is right now. I don't know. It's a lot of contributing factors. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I've said boob jiggle, and I'm disgusted with myself. So let's just move on.
Yeah, it's the honeypot in the Me Too era may not be the best.
Exactly.
Although, if you thought about it, that would have been the perfect way to backdoor into a Black Cat, Silver Sable extended Sony universe, where you have them, and then you have as your after credits thing this idea that Silver Sable is part of this Charlie's Angels universe now.
No.
Yeah.
No more shared universes. I'm done. I have no time to invest in this shared universe.
People love it, man. I love it. And
all right.
It's something Charlie Esther would like.
I know.
Okay. What else?
It's something Charlie Esser would like. Let me just put it to you that way.
All right, so
Everybody's calling out their own shots. Poor Philip.
all right, should we talk some comics?
Yeah. Oh my God! How much Batman was out there?
Well, of course we got Batman 83, where they confirm now that Alfred is dead. Spoilers.
Again?
For now, there's a Lazarus pit, or
I know, like I said, within the year he'll be back. Well, no, I mean, in a couple issues back, Batman telling Catwoman, yeah, Alfred radioed, he's fine. But now I guess, Master Bruce, I sent a pre-recorded message because I didn't want to, slow you down, taking down Bane, and I didn't want to hurt you. I'm just like, your death's not going to hurt him or nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
DC cashing in. DC cashing in. Here's my drop.
Yeah. Well, maybe now we'll get Aunt Harriet back, and
you know what? Like I said, you think
No, we're getting Julia Pennyworth, baby.
Oh yeah, because she showed up in Batwoman. Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Women. You gotta women to spend their money.
Look, now it's a woman serving Batman. Don't you want to read, girls?
Well, to be fair, Alfred's had his moment.
But isn't that just going to give a sexual tension between Batman and...
There is no sexual tension with Batman. He's asexual.
Plus, he has Catwoman.
That's why it didn't work out with Catwoman.
Well,
I'm just saying. Just think about it.
It almost looks like
he's a very obsessed man with one thing.
They may be bringing that back, so I don't know. But yeah, so
yeah.
But he's gonna have to. He still has to defeat his father. Well, the Flashpoint version of his father.
Oh, he's back.
Just keep milking a dead cow, why don't you?
Well, wasn't that the pattern? They brought back Jor-El. Now that now they brought back Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint. It's just like, who's next?
Getting out of hand.
We're really gonna smack you.
No longer. Also, your dads are jerks.
Exactly.
Duh.
Yeah. Now you'll be thankful.
Hello, Megan.
Oh, Charlie Esther. Now you'll be happy he got shot.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I have the memory.
You'll be happy that they didn't send them down Crime Alley this time. Oh boy.
Oh, but
yeah. So he's gonna fight his dad. Isn't his dad really old though?
He's older. I mean, he's got the gray hair, but who knows what he's juicing with? I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
And he uses guns on his pansy son.
Okay. There you go. Well, that's fine. But why would he want to kill his son?
I don't know. He wanted Bruce to quit as Batman, and of course, what Bruce's answer to that was.
Yeah.
I love you. I want you to quit, even if I have to beat you to do it.
Yeah. Okay, but we're burying the DC lead here, guys.
What?
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is a DC property now.
Oh.
Is this He-Man and Masters of the Multiverse?
Yes.
Yes, I heard they brought back Dolph Lundgren.
This is just it's so good. It's so good. It's Tim Seeley on top of that. I was just like, yeah. The art was super fantastic. It was Dan Fraga and Richard Friend. Mm-hmm. And it's just, oh my God, this first issue was so amazing. And they we get Skeletor's background, oh my God, yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, isn't there some weird time travel thing where he's got to team up with Skeletor pre-Skeletor? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one, and I forget they tell you what his name was.
It's Prince Keldor.
Prince Keldor, yeah, that he's the one Prince Keldor who did not become Skeletor. So, and they're doing their own little Spider-Verse thing. They have a He-Man-verse. So.
Oh yeah, because isn't
Eternia-verse? Get it right.
Oh yeah, because isn't Kevin Smith working on the new He-Man cartoon?
Yeah, it's something a little.
Is he also working on a Howard the Duck series? He's working on a lot of stuff.
I thought they announced that. How did they announce that already?
They announced it a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they announced it a while ago, but it's it's got that, and he's doing the He-Man.
Hey, Kevin Smith's still.
Guess he's keeping busy.
He's
also making
now that he's nice, fit, and slim and trim, he's got a lot more energy to do a lot more things and hopefully get everything out on time. Just,
You can hope.
I don't know about
fingers
that.
crossed.
It's
Hey
legal.
man, there's stuff that there's certain strains. Maybe he needs to get an energizing strain and lay off that sativa or indica.
I was gonna say that's what's slowing him down.
There's other strains that you can take that don't make you sleepy and tired. That's all I'm saying.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, like this book was so freaking good. So if you're like even tangentially a fan of He-Man, I think you should pick it up. I think it was the best $4 I spent this week, honestly.
Noise. Oh, I think.
And also, it's Tim Seeley, so we always support Tim Seeley.
That's right. His great Nightwing and Grayson run, yes. All right, I think everyone read this. Amazing Mary Jane #2.
Yes!
Correct.
I liked this book.
I knew you would.
Know why? It reminded me of a Patsy Walker book.
Of course.
Like, just,
That's
the
Patsy Walker book you burned?
Well, I mean, it just seems like it's like, the plucky redhead and her zany schemes. I really like it. I really liked it. I like that she's like hanging out with Mysterio. Now, the guy that Mysterio is pretending to be, is that like, did he kidnap a guy and take his identity, or has he just been working under an assumed name now?
He
he was just working under assumed name.
No, I think they said he's a real that's a real director, but no, he didn't kidnap him, but he like came up with like a fake project. The guy thinks he's like shooting a documentary or something in Antarctica or something like that. So it's like, yeah, he just like got the guy out of the way so he could use his identity.
So is this not an era of Facebook where people can just check what you look like?
Well, again, he sent him to some remote location where there may be no Wi-Fi, Little Hellfire.
Yeah. Well, he'd have a satellite phone,
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe this guy doesn't check his stuff.
So this book is so charming. Like, for a long time, Mary Jane's been kind of annoying. So this is so refreshing that she's not annoying.
Well, she's out on her own and she's living her best life,
She really is.
You're gonna make it after all.
She didn't need no spider holding her back. That's the moral of the story.
I know. We didn't even get a Spider-Man cameo in this issue like we did last issue.
What was the first issue? So you were expecting it. Now
Yeah,
it's like, okay, you gotta stand on your own. Let's see what you do.
Well, you got the guy who plays Spider-Man in it,
Yeah.
Because he's on set trying to get paid extra.
I mean, Mary Jane's a good character, when she's written well and you give her something to do.
Yeah. And not just sitting around in lingerie eating bonbons.
That works too. But no, I'm just, ever since they, Mephisto'd that marriage, it's just like, then they have to keep coming up with excuses. Well, why is she still here?
And this answers is like, well, I guess she shouldn't be.
It's like, okay, you're going to break up my marriage, at least make me a movie star.
Probably got a big break. Although, I was really hoping it would be Secret Hospital, the movie.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have been a deep cut, son.
Mephisto ain't doing Mysterio ain't doing no Secret Hospital.
He wants his biopic. I know.
I just love that line that the assistant throws out. She's like, "Oh no, you're not one of those jerks who's starring in his own biography." Yeah. No, of course not. Oh, I know why Charlie Esser loved this. I know why Charlie Esser loved this issue, because when Mysterio goes nuts and like starts throwing up all these images, we hear someone in the crowd yell, "See, the news was right. Dr. Octopus is back."
Yeah. No, that just breaks my heart.
Rubbing salt in the wound.
Just reboot back into the good old Superior Spider-Man body. Or, like I said, just have him,
or
just have
both.
Superior Spider-Man just reboot on his own, It's like...
Can we just say that it's an interesting concept that it's a comic book about a supervillain movie inside a comic book? Like that's just, like, so meta. I love it.
Yeah. And now what character is Mary Jane playing in this? Because she's got, like, some kind of mask and costume, They just, like, create a new superhero property,
I guess,
for her to be in this.
Sex appeal woman. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, although
something
actually,
John Byrne would like.
Oh.
Well, it struck me as odd just because obviously it's like, oh, there's a Spider-Man character and here's all the Sinister Six characters.
She's
and
being great. Now leave it alone.
Now we're putting in this other character. Well, that was one of the things that kind of struck me in this, that there should be fictional superhero movies in the universe, even if it has superheroes, because we have police officers, but we still have fictional cop movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like we would just stop seeing superheroes as part of our lives just because they exist, Lots of things exist, and we have movies about them.
Well, they haven't mentioned it in a while, but I know a bunch of Marvel comics over the years have said, oh, yeah, we have Marvel comics in this universe.
Well, yeah, they do have Marvel comics in this universe, although that actually exists more as sort of a news organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Spider-Man has his own book, but it's actually about, like, the adventures of, like, what he's done. So it's the greatest hits of his adventures or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the things that Reed Richards did, is he worked out a deal to sell the adventures of the Fantastic Four to be chronicled in Marvel. Although DC also exists in the Marvel comic book universe, because you do see references to Batman and Superman as comic book characters.
Yeah. Oh, and back in the 80s, artist Steve Rogers was drawing the Captain America comic.
Yeah, well, he I'm sure he said that's not how it happened.
Oh, yeah, he gave notes to the writer.
Why don't they add the mask to Marvel?
They add the character the mask to Marvel?
They gotta spend some money, son!
That would be interesting. Yeah, well, see if Disney decides to buy Dark Horse.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
It's coming.
I would see them buying IDW, honestly, before they bought Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Well, don't they have some kind of deal with them? Because isn't
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think they were laying the foundation. Actually.
Yeah.
guys, when Disney is your overlord, don't say I didn't try to warn you guys.
I'm waiting. You warn everyone. I'm waiting.
Pleasant.
Charlie Esser is like, wash my brain. Wash my brain.
I welcome our mouse overlord. I, for one, welcome our mouse overlords. The overlords we have now aren't doing that much better. That's all I'm saying. Maybe.
And the mouse is going to be worse. Once they have everything, and everything's in that damn Disney vault, you'll be sorry.
You know what, Lilith? Right now in our world, I'm going to say I'm willing to take that chance.
You'll be sorry.
Yeah, well.
Hey, once Sky Mouse takes over, we won't get stuff like this new Charlie's Angels.
Which is a shame. They shouldn't be able to.
Or they'll make it better.
Exactly. No. It's like, if they own everything, then they theoretically will own Charlie's Angels as well. And they can say, and this is how you do it.
It doesn't make everything better. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but they don't.
No, they don't make everything better, but they can. They could.
They have better quality control than some of these people, Lilith. Sony.
Yeah. Well, Disney cares about their
okay, I'm going to put it to you this way. Sony has no business being in the movie business. Like, it's ridiculous that they're in the movie business. Honestly, I think if they focused on their camera line for selling equipment to the movies, they would make more money than what they do with the movies that they do make. But whatever.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Lilith, there are a lot of people at Sony who make that argument on a regular basis.
No, I know. Trust me, I know.
Is one of their problems in their film division, because especially with the whole Spider-Man thing, they're like, why are we in the Spider-Man business? It makes us money, but it also costs us money. And the last two weren't that big, and then we could let Disney take it over, and which is why they eventually went. Yeah, exactly. And it's there are two
it's somebody's vanity project, and until they die or their children die, we're gonna have Sony movies. That's all there is to say about it.
Well, it comes down to the idea that, and it's sort of like what you see right now with AOL, Time Warner, AT&T, DC, is that the people that are owning the company now aren't by their nature creative. They are by their nature
business.
Technocrats. They have they're a technology company, and so really they look at all their content, and the content is great. They need content. They understand that, but they also don't necessarily look at the content as something that they have to care that much about, Whereas Disney is a content company first and foremost. So any other technological advances they do make, it's all to serve that content. And I think that's where we have the little disconnect between what Disney does when they take over something and what AT&T does when they take over. Now we're going to see if Disney takes over Verizon so they can have their own vertically integrated stream. We'll see.
All right. So
Well, Verizon's a terrible company, so if Disney makes everything better, then maybe.
there you go.
Anyway, yes, Amazing Mary Jane gets solid B+ for me. I am just loving the meta commentary. I love the little deep cuts, the little Easter eggs in it. It's so cute. And then it's also like a meta commentary on Hollywood a little bit too. So I'm just like really enjoying it. I'm glad that the person that's writing it is having fun with it too. So
Lilith Hellfire was right. Yes, yes, very good. Like I said, I'm here for it. I think it's only like 5 issues.
Yeah. For now.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard
unless
that
it
it's
goes
doing pretty good in sales actually. So.
nice.
Well, it's like Lois Lane. You want to have that spin-off book, and then suddenly it gets big.
They definitely need more female-led books, and I think that this was like a good choice to try that out outside of like the gnomes. Because even Gwenpool's like got something right now at this point, so that's pretty cool too. I meant to pick up what is it, Gwenpool Strikes Back, but I forgot.
It is.
Did you pick
good.
it up, Charlie?
Yes, of course I did. It's on the pull, and I finally got to the comic book store because I missed last week, but I got there this week. I think most of my books came out this week anyway. It's cool, although I gotta say, and I love her. She's jumping through the white space and all that kind of stuff, as is her shtick. But she beats the Hulk, of course, by essentially she brings in a bunch of her other versions from other storylines, and so that she can do that now. That's one of her powers. She can pull versions of herself from other comic books. And
you don't seem excited about that. That seems pretty cool to me, but you don't seem excited.
Oh, me? No, I think it's very cool. What makes me sad is that there's like only one more issue left. And then what really makes me sad is the Deadpool crossover.
Oh, Deadpool 1, yes.
Yeah.
Because that really brings home where Gwen is at right now. Which is...
Kelly time to kind of mention that how, those characters that don't have homes, like, that's how come she got to use them, basically.
Yeah, but that, Jeff the shark, and she's so afraid her pet shark's gonna disappear when she falls out of continuity, And, that's what the press of Gwenpool is. And yeah, no, trust me, I love Gwenpool. I love that she is totally OP right now. Kind of ambush bug level, fourth wall breaking, just completely stepping out of the scene to do whatever she needs. And that is really brilliant, It's actually kind of cool because, at one point, like, she goes to jump into the white space and the Hulk, like, pulls her back from the white space. It's pretty scary and pretty cool. But, yeah, it's just really awesome. I do love Gwenpool. But like I said, her scene in Deadpool is just, that's what really stuck me in the gut this week. Because she doesn't want her little shark buddy to die. And it was as beautiful as when she's talking to Batroc at the end of her previous miniseries, where she's like, you're not going to be you anymore once my book ends, And, it's beautiful. Although, as we see when Batroc shows up again in Black Cat recently, he's actually still pretty much a cool guy. So I love me my Batroc. I want to see him come back in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, there you go.
Because he was in Winter Soldier, so
yeah,
might as well have him come back.
His butt kicked.
So, no offense to y'all, and especially, my Spider-Man fans, but Conan the Barbarian was number 11 was the best Marvel book this week. Y'all can fight me.
I'm not going to argue that at all. Oh, no. I'm not going to argue that at all.
Charlie Esser's not going to argue that.
Yeah. I love just because he dies and he goes to Crom. And,
Crom.
What I also love about this is, he is at once a boy, but also clearly his mother's pregnant with him. And then they just fight forever because that's what that's Cimmerian heaven. Sort of like, as they say, what Valhalla is sort of supposed to be, just this place of constant war and battle. I mean, they don't make it seem like that in the comic books much, but that actually is what it's supposed to be, where, the warriors fight forever. Ah! But then he meets Crom We actually get Crom as a god in this, which is like the first time he's had a real godlike appearance, the god of the mountain, and that is beautiful. And then I do love, how he, as he's fighting him and he's getting he like ages. He's a boy, then he's a man, then he's an old man, and then that is the curse that Crom places on him. That rather than getting to die a glorious warrior's death, he will die old. You will die an old man, and then of course the Flints are all, yay, we released the evil thing, and then Conan's like, not yet, you haven't.
I don't think that Mahmoud Assarar gets enough credit for the artwork. I think this artwork is absolutely stunning, especially with the story that it's telling. Like, I just love the construction of the panels. Like, just everything about the artwork was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a beautiful
was so
book.
Cool. I love that they're doing something different with Conan that we haven't seen, like, because it could be easy to wash, rinse, repeat with Conan and the fans would still eat it up, but they really are trying to push the envelope with this character, and I love it. I do.
Yeah, well, and especially this arc in Conan with the many deaths of Conan, and especially since as we say, they are really milking Conan. I mean, he's even going to have a 2099
because that's a character that's hasn't been overexposed in a very long time, and I'm all for a new Conan movie. Actually, if they want to do Savage Avengers as a movie, they might actually pull me back into the Marvel MCU there.
Well, for what it's worth, it does seem like Disney is acting like they have this property and they're not anticipating losing it anytime. So.
Well, you know how Disney is once they get something with the copyright law, so yeah, they're not going to lose it.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, I mean, I think this was probably just about to go into public domain, and maybe Disney said, we can protect you from that. That if Disney buys it, they can keep it where they want it, and it will not go into public domain, because somehow Disney is able to thwart public domain. I don't know how they do it.
Because they're the ones literally they're the ones who do the copyright laws, and like they literally send it to their little lobbyists, and it's the whole thing why I don't enjoy Disney's business practices, but in this case it worked out.
Yes.
Hello, Megan.
But anyway. Yeah, no, Conan the Barbarian. That was I'll say that was definitely my favorite Marvel. Well, was that my favorite? I mean,
Gwenpool,
Fantastic Four 2099 was.
That
this
was
my
a close second for me, but this Conan story is everything as a long time Conan story.
I'm going to go with Lilith. This was definitely my favorite one. Man, FF 2099 was just a gut punch. It was just a gut punch, man.
Mm-hmm.
From the crazy robot to like, no, you're not right. It's just like, oh my gosh, that tone.
I'm kind of here for this though, and I'm just like, just let Doom rule. Can y'all just leave Doom alone, please? Just let him have something.
Now remember, that's not actually Doom.
Exactly, I know.
That's a guy who got his brain rewritten to be Doom.
As you do in the Marvel Universe, apparently. That's
exactly.
That's Crystal.
But yeah. Well, exactly. But, an aspect of that is also that, at least from what we see in 2099 Alpha, that the real Doom may have traveled here as well.
Yes.
Although that...
He's getting it back.
I don't know, do we want to talk 2099 Alpha? Because there's a lot
or do you want to save the plug for you and Matt?
Oh, no, I don't care. If you guys want to talk we'll go more in depth when me and Matt talk. But yeah, no, good.
Well, let me just say this, because it actually doesn't make any sense. Or it does. Well, because it doesn't make any sense because we see that Doom 2099 has captured a Watcher, but a Watcher he specifically refers to as Uatu.
Mm-hmm.
But Uatu is dead in this universe.
I know.
In our universe.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying, oh no, our universes are connected, but clearly your universe is divergent from ours because you still have an Uatu. It doesn't make no sense. And so it is interesting what they've done. Because also in our universe, we know that, because I was thinking, well, did Franklin put the Watcher back when we made the universe? But no, but Nick Fury's still the whatever they're calling him.
Yeah.
the guy on the moon. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and
well, didn't they?
Gonna have a lot of explaining to do.
Well, didn't they? They threw out that line in Amazing Spider-Man, where it's, where Spider-Man 2099 is like, yeah, 2099 is the real, the future of the real Marvel universe, but it's always changing, it's always shifting because the present's always changing, and so it's like, did they just throw in that loopholes that are like, yeah, we can make 2099 whatever we want, whenever we want. We want to change this, we'll change it.
Obviously they are.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It is very interesting what they have going on there. And again, you get the little key of Herbie in that, which then, spoilers for Fantastic Four that where you actually see like, oh, I'll let him go as a because just as a kindness to his mother, and then to have it just go all off the rails on Fantastic Four 2099's ending, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, that was that. What else we got? Don't want to talk
Marvel had a really good week. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Marvel had a really good week.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, Lilith, did you read Flash Forward? No. Basically, Wally West traveling through the multiverse, cleaning stuff up. He lands on an Earth where, who didn't see this coming? All the superheroes, well, everyone except Roy Harper, who's alive here. All the superheroes are vampires now because Wally's like, how did that happen? He's like, well, Batman had to fight Dracula and thought it was a good idea to turn himself into a vampire. And, you know how things go from there. Batman turned himself into a vampire. You know what's going to happen next. He turns everybody else into vampires.
Man, that is mad as hell right now. Man, that is serious.
Batman.
That's actually my favorite episode of the Superman stuff. You remember that episode where they fight Dracula and they all get turned into vampires?
Oh, I think kind of.
Yeah, I forget how they fixed it, but yeah. But yeah, they all get turned into vampires when they fight Dracula on the Super Friends.
But again, how does a vampire bite Superman? Because it's like, his teeth will go through his skin, but magic. but every cell of Superman's body is infused with solar radiation. That's gotta hurt.
Well, actually,
down swinging.
if you go by the actual Dracula book,
things, homie.
The sun does not actually kill vampires. They can move about in the day.
Okay.
It's not their best time. So arguably that is just supercharged blood,
Yeah.
Full of vitamin D. So.
Vitamin D.
Lilith.
That's what the kids call it. Don't laugh at me. Yeah, I do want to shout out an image book this week because it's a #1 and it's by the Pyers boys, Kurt and Tony, father and son. It's called Olympia #1, and the art is by Alex Dido and D. Cunny, and it's basically about a kid who's obsessed with comic books, and then his favorite comic book hero comes crashing off the pages, but he's wounded and he has to nurse him back to health. So it's a mini series. I thought the artwork was like kind of quirky and cool, and I don't know. It's just something about the story. It's like really fun. I liked it.
Cool.
Just thought I'd mention it.
That does sound lovely.
I try to support Image when I can.
I do love superheroes coming to the real world.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of
indie book this week, of course, was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Always a good pick.
Yes. This is actually a lot of fun. They actually have, apparently the cult is trying to get her Luciferian energy to power their, they call it a besom, which is the broomstick. And actually when the Luciferian energy is pulled from her body, it actually pulls all the darkness from her, so that when she puts on her dress again, it's white now instead of black. So that's not good. And she's teaming up with this guy by the name of Soul Survivor, who everyone keeps on saying, oh yeah, you're a millionaire Ivan Saint something. Like, no, I'm not that person. I'm the Soul Survivor. And he's apparently like Magic Batman. So that's cool. He's like Batman, but magical. And he's fighting this little cult of witches who, are trying to power up their witches' broomstick so they can bring a demon. But Elvira teleports back to her house, but then gets her car to go stop them. She has to get her darkness back, man. She's the mistress of the dark, and it's still her darkness. So that's an issue she's got to deal with.
Got to get your groove back.
Yeah. And again, fourth wall breaking, just like I love. So it's awesome.
Awesome. All right. Should we get out of here so Charlie and I can go do super connectivity and talk some Captain America, maybe some Hulk, the final issue of Loki?
Oh.
All right. So.
And Agents of Wakanda.
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh,
coming to a Disney Plus near you pretty soon, as Phil and I theorize.
Without Chadwick Boseman.
Stepped on your toes.
Fingers crossed, man.
All right. So send your thoughts on all of everything you've heard today. Hey, what do you want us to talk next week? We're easy. Send your emails, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And go check out Linktree. That's linktr.ee/capesandlunatics for all of our social media links to the YouTube, the merch, everything. And speaking of merch, go support our sponsors. Check the show notes for your link to Amazon to support Southgate Media Group, Hunt a Killer, and Pod Life the book. You want to read about some Charlie Esser, get Pod Life the book. Everyone mentions him.
I'm beloved.
That's right. For the drops, heck yes. All right, Lilith Hellfire, where can people fight you on the internet?
I'm pretty easy to find if you want to fight me on the interwebs. You can find me on Twitter @Lilith Hellfire, and of course, for you guys here at Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks, you can find me @Lilith Hellfire 69. Oh, I was hoping for a hello, Megan, but it's fine, Philip. Hello, Megan. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in the old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet things when I remember to do so. @Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing!
Thank you, Moss. All right.
He has the 2 E's at the end for quality.
Ooh.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another week. We have been the Capes
and the Sun.
There it is. Put down the vitamin D, Lil Hellfire.
What is that? Is that like Eritrea or something?
What?
What is that EE? Because
I don't know.
It's the country code. Like .ca or .ee for doing
European Union?
I don't question Master Doom, okay?
Well, no, it's just, it's like .tv. There's a little small island like .tv. So then actually research
Is it Estonia? It's Estonia.
Or we have to send you to Master Doom's gulag.
There you go. I wonder if the Liberian .is .lb.